dit, you're learning how to say certain things differently now. But 2 plus 2 égale 4.
Yeah, 2 plus 2 égale 4, but si deux là, if 2 and the 2 are things that matters to you,
right.
You might not want to say it like that.
Okay.
You might find a way to say 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 equals 4 too. You know what I mean? It's just a way to say things.
Right.
Est-ce
que yo relo dans téléphone yo parle avant parce que moi grand pile comment en bas vidéo.
Specifically like I don't even want to mention him because then it becomes about him.
Non, c'est pas
he's so little in the.
Non, c'est seul musique te relo ou bien.
No, so I have my family. I have a good relationship with them. That happened and that kind of was like, yo, it's all about business too. And you have to understand, like, now to say somebody is a drug dealer is like, oh, really cool vibes. Like, right. I'm not kind of like glorifying it.
Right.
But as a Haitian person, it's like, I don't care what's cool now. It's still not something I want people to just look at. Do you want people to look at you and be like, oh, her dad was a drug dealer, blah, 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 blah. Right. Sometimes I have to reflect. I have to realize, like, damn, did I go in there trying to victimize myself? Because I had great moments.
Right. No,
you know what I mean? I almost where I wouldn't even said it was your edit because it wasn't the edit because I know that I said way more and you took certain things that I know that perhaps to you was like, okay, it's not necessary, but the main focus remained and you didn't change the story. But I also feel like the narrative, the way I painted it, didn't really reflect what I went through. Okay. Now, I want to make sure I'm not taking away certain things I said. But I think if I would have pictured it another way, like my dad cared. The way I pictured it is like I didn't get certain type of love from my dad. I think the kid in me wanted it to be a certain way, but I'm so satisfied with what I got because that's all I had. Like I could literally say I love my dad and the sacrifices he made at 24, having 2 kids. I just turned 33. My dad didn't get to turn 33, right. So it's like a reflective moment. Like, damn, he did so much for me. And I kind of feel like I was shitting on him a little bit. Yeah. That's just me when I look at it. Because when I did the interview, I had to look at it from my point of view, what I went through, my family's point of view, my kid when she sits down in the longer run, how she's going to look at it.
Right.
And then the public.
Right.
Somebody that doesn't know me, oh boy, do you not know. After that, I would go on gossip website and it would be stuff like, like stuff like, or puis sa maman te quitté. Like it's becoming a little bit interpersonal so much. I wanted to be exposed. I wanted people to know my story, but it's almost like my story kind of exposed me in a way where it shows a little bit of weakness as much as like people are like, she's vulnerable, she's herself and everything. You don't want people to know all that when you're dating them per se.
Right, that's what I was gonna ask you. Have your relationships been affected since our last interview?
I think when people go too deep into things that I'm talking about my rape, I'm talking about stuff like that, you start having you start painting your own picture of that person. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
so they come with you with a preconceived notion of who you are.
Even if I didn't know they watch it. Or maybe me, I have a preconceived notion that if they did, I have to start moving a certain way now, even if they didn't watch it. And I don't want to start a conversation like, hey, my name is Laurénée. Did you watch my interview?
Right.
So I can know exactly what you know.
Right.
It's so not fair, but I kind of like did it to myself. But a good thing is also like, you know what you're getting yourself into. This is somebody that dealt with a lot of trauma, and I probably require way more mentally in a man that another person that didn't go through these things would require.
And if we saw, why don't you get therapy then?
I am in the process too. I want to get therapy. I think my therapy derived from like, I didn't want to take therapy from childhood trauma. I didn't want to take therapy from other things, but I know that I'm grieving from my auntie still. It's been like 6 years, and the grief is what's sending me straight to therapy.
Et pour ça même ou besoin therapy, because if it's been 6 years and you're still grieving,
yes, big time.
Then
it takes one death for me to be bullying. I'm right back to crying and missing her. So that's the thing that will drive me to take therapy, and that will fix other things amongst it. But I didn't want to go to therapy because somebody said, oh, you're crazy, you need therapy. Or somebody said, I think you need therapy. I'm not saying you're saying I'm crazy.
No,
but
I know that.
Yeah.
But I don't think you need to be crazy to get therapy. I mean, étant qu'on va besoin malade pour aller faire tuer cocaïne docteur.
I understand that.
Et même genre gynécologue tout, va
That's
besoin
true.
les ba la for mal pour aller au gynécologue là, pour aller make sure it's healthy,
I
just like
understand.
your state of mind. You feel me?
Assuming que le pape je me fais mal.
Right.